Good morning, student. Today I'm going to deal with the new topic, that is orthopedic abnormalities, clubfoot, congenital hip dislocation, and fracture. This topic from pediatric nursing. Okay, we can move to that topic. Okay, at the learning objectives are at the end of the class, student will be able to define clubfoot, explain the types of clubfoot, describe the cause of clubfoot, explain the diagnosis and the management, define CHD, causes, its types and management, define fracture, causes, types, clinical manifestation, diagnosis and management. Okay, you can see that what is the clubfoot. Okay, first we are moving to study regarding clubfoot. Okay, clubfoot is a congenital birth defect. It occurring about 1 in every 1,000 livers. Approximately 50% of cases clubfoots are bilateral. This occurs in male more often than female by ratio of 2:1. Main cause is the result of arrested or anomalous development in utero. Okay, you can see that a congenital abnormality, you know that the name itself, it is happening, it's a birth defect. Okay, normally this defect is a bilateral. Okay, bilateral means it is affecting in the both legs. Okay, and you can see mostly you can see in male children than the female children. And why it is happening? Why it's occur in children? Because of that is an abnormality in development in uterus. Okay, you can see that. What is the definition of clubfoot? Clubfoot is a condition in which one or both feet are twisted into an abnormal position at birth. The condition is also known as talipes or talipes equinovarus. Okay, what is the other name of clubfoot is talipes equinovarus. It means that is a twisted leg. Then a twisted feet to हम लोग बोलते हैं. But clubfoot might be that is inward, otherwise outward as a dorsiflexion. Okay, we can see in a different twisting of that foot we are considering as a clubfoot. Okay, clubfoot other name is a talipes equinovarus. Okay, you can see that. What are the causes of clubfoot? The causes of clubfoot is not known. That is an unknown, otherwise idiopathic. What is the main cause? Doesn't know until now. And next is family history. The family members has any history of clubfoot. Otherwise, father or mother have the history of clubfoot. There may be the chances to get the children also clubfoot. Okay, next is abnormal position and restricted movement in uterus. Okay, the baby, when fetus in the uterus, that time the baby is lied abnormal, otherwise abnormal position. That time also chances to get this clubfoot in children. Okay, next you can see types of clubfoot. Okay, clubfoot हम लोग classify किया उनके हिसाब से how it is twisted. Okay, first one is talipes varus and second one is talipes valgus and talipes equinovarus and talipes calcaneovalgus and talipes calcaneovarus and talipes equinovalgus. Okay, you can see that. What is talipes varus? Okay, talipes varus is a congenital deformity of the foot in which it is rotated outward so that packing is done on the outer side of the sole. What is happening in this condition? The foot is rotated outward. Okay, you can see the foot is rotated outward. This condition is called as a talipes varus. Okay, talipes varus. Okay, talipes varus. You can see that the foot is twisted and rotated outward. Okay, this condition is called as talipes varus. Okay, next you can see what is talipes valgus. Okay, it's a congenital deformity of the foot in which it is rotated inward. Okay, what is happening that valgus, that is feet, and is rotated inward. This condition is called as talipes valgus. Okay, talipes varus we said that is rotated outward, and talipes valgus is the opposite, that is rotated inward. Okay, next you can see talipes equinovarus. It's a clubfoot, is also known as talipes equinovarus. It is a common foot abnormality in which foot point downward and inward. Okay, foot point downward and inward hoga. This condition is known as talipes equinovarus. Okay, these are different types of clubfoot and talipes cavus, talipes equinus. Talipes equinus, you know that is a fingers, and that is finger is, and the patient is moving with the toes, and moving with the toes, and these heels are up, and heels up, and the baby, the child is walking with the toes. And talipes calcaneus, what is happening? The baby is walking with the heels, and This is what is happening. The toes are up. Okay, next is talipus valgus. Okay, talipus valgus already we know that is inward rotation. And next is talipus equinovalgus. That is that you know that inward and downward rotation. Okay, you can see that talipus calcaneovalgus. We can see that that is an inward flexion, and same the baby is walking with the heels. And the toes are upside. Okay, next is talipus varus. Talipus varus that is an external rotation, and that is outward rotation of the feet. Okay, next is you can see talipo equinovalgus. You will see that, and next is talipus calcaneovarus and talipus equinovarus and talipus calcaneocavus. Okay, this is the different types of club foot where it is got this flexion in the foot. Okay, foot flexion के हिसाब से we are classified as types. Okay, you can see varus. Varus is an outward. Equinus, you can see equinus मतलब क्या होगा? The baby is walking with the toes, and this is an heels are up. And valgus you can see inward. Okay, inward flexion. And you can see talipus cavus. Cavus मतलब that feet is flexed, and that is middle portion of feet is flexed, and you can see that the baby is walking with the toes only. And next is calcaneus. The baby is walking with the heel, and toes are up. Okay, what are the diagnosis? How we can able to detect clubfoot, otherwise talipus equinovarus? Antenatal ultrasound scan. Okay, we can see that ultrasound scan. We can able to identify the anomalies in fetus, and next after birth it can be detected by the means of looking at the shape and the position of the foot. And next is X-ray also. We can able to identify the clubfoot after birth. Okay, what are the treatment? There are 3 stages of treatment are there. Correct the deformity and maintenance of correction until normal muscle balance is developed, and follow-up observation to detect the reoccurrence. Okay, next we can see application of cast. Okay, that is a correct the deformity, and we can able to apply the cast to what is straightening in that feet. Okay, that's support the feet. You can see use of Dennis Brown splint. That is also we can able to apply for correct the deformity. And next we can see maintenance of correction, especially clubfoot shoes, observation for reoccurrence deformity. Okay, surgical correction for releasing tight ligaments or to lengthen the tendon. Okay, nursing management, what do you do? The patient is having clubfoot, assessment, manipulation of the foot, and care of infant in Dennis Brown splint, and care of infant in a cast. Okay, you can see that next condition is congenital dislocation of hip. What is that? Congenital dislocation of a hip is not in a proper position at birth. Okay, that is coming as a congenital dislocation of hip. You can see that most common congenital malformation. Okay, CHD is a most common congenital malformation. It occurs about 1 in 750 live births. Okay, this condition you can see in 1 in 750 live births. Okay, it is caused by various degree of displacement of the femoral head from the acetabulum. Okay, what is that? Displacement of femoral head. And that is not in a proper place. That is not in the proper place. Okay, that's a displacement of femoral head. Okay, and next we can see that definition of hip dislocation. It occurs when the femoral head, the ball portion of the hip joint, leaves the pelvic socket. Well, there is no connection between that pelvic socket and the femoral head. Okay, that time that is called as hip dislocation. What is the types of hip dislocation? Acetabulum dysplasia, subluxation, dislocation. Okay, you can see this. Okay, different CHD, congenital hip dislocations. Okay, next you can see causes, why it is happening. Hereditary factor. The family has a history of CHD. The baby chance to get that condition, and fetal position, abnormal position of the fetus in utero. That is also causes what? CHD. And extra uterine compression. That is also the one reason for CHD. And next is breech presentation. Baby is in the breech presentation. That time also what is happening? The baby chance to get this CHD. And neurological disorder. The baby has that. Any other neurological disorder, otherwise meningitis, spina bifida. Okay, and any that type of disorder, that is also the one reason for CHD. Okay, next you can see diagnostic test, how we can able to identify congenital hip dislocation through physical examination. After birth, through physical examination, we can able to identify. And next is Ortolani maneuver and the Barlow maneuver. Through we can able to identify an Alice signs, an ultrasound and X-ray and MRI. Okay, you can see that clinical manifestation. This is Barlow test. Okay, Barlow test, how they are doing, you can see an Ortolani test. These are for identifying in the congenital dislocation, hip dislocation. Okay, you can see that nursing management, baby wearing a Bock harness and diagram of Pavlik harness and diagram of Fregica pillow and traction. Okay, these are the management of congenital hip dislocation. You can see that it's an traction. Okay, this is a supportive device, not a traction. You can see this. And here this is a traction. The babies, and this we are giving in that skin traction we are applied on the baby's hip. Okay, you can see here. Next condition is a fracture. What is a fracture? Okay, the trauma to the bone and musculoskeletal system can occur in the neonate and children because of injury to the bone and nerves. Okay, trauma to the bone, other discontinuity of the bone that we are considering as a what? Fracture. Okay, fracture is a defined as any breakage to the bone continuity due to accident and child abuse. Okay, the baby has the discontinuity of the bone, otherwise breakage of bone due to any accidents, and otherwise child abuse, that is considering as a fracture. And next, again, what are the causes of fracture? Falling, climbing, struck by moving objects, accidental injuries, child abuse, blowing, punching, and during play. What are the diagnostic checks? How we can able to identify fracture? Physical assessment, bone continuity, we can able to check, and pain. Physical assessment, we can do it. Bone continuity, you have to check, and pain, we have to check, and swelling on that area. And you can able for open or closed, you have to identify it's open injury or closed injury. Open injury, we can able to see the bleeding outside, and closed injury, so we can see that we can able to feel pain, swelling, okay, and bruisedness on that particular area. And X-ray. Through X-ray also we can able to identify the fracture. Okay, these are types of bone fracture. Common types of fracture we can see. This is a transverse fracture, and it's a spiral fracture, and it's an oblique fracture, and it's a comminuted fracture. Okay, this is multiple and a small fragment. There is a fracture again, and this is a segmental fracture. And one more fracture is a green stick fracture. That's a green stick fracture. That's a very, very common fracture in children. Okay, we can see the clinical manifestation, how we can able to identify the fracture: swelling, bruising, and 4 P's, and a pain, pulse, paresthesia. Okay, loss of sensation and paralysis and breakage of bone continuity. Okay, what are the management of child with the fracture? To restore the fracture fragment to the normal position. Fracture fragment, especially green stick injury, you can see that the fracture fragment, we can able to keep it in a normal position to the reduction. Okay, internal reduction and external fixation also we can able to do it, and you can do. Okay, to maintain the bone fragment in place until healing occur, we can able to do immobilization through plaster cast, and to help the children to regain normal function through rehabilitation. Okay, what are the method of fracture reduction? Closed reduction, traction, and open reduction. You can see that method of fracture immobilization: bandage. We can able to apply bandage, that is for immobilization. Cast, we can able to plaster cast up, we can able to apply, and split we can able to apply, and continue traction. Pins and plaster cast, internal fixation include plates, screw, and rods also we can able to apply for the immobilization. Next is nursing management. Provide every information to the parents how to handle this conditions, and encourage the child for play, and they can tell the child to use that injured leg, and a baby can able to play. Okay, next is maintain position for fractured part, and provide analgesics when required. The patient is having pain, we can able to tell the parents, otherwise we can provide analgesics to the child, and prevention of respiratory, circulatory, and neurological disturbance. Okay, next you can see maintain body temperature, maintain skin integrity, promotion of muscle activity, that's very important, provision of comfort measures, prevention of urinary stresses and constipation, health education, and follow health education. And we follow health education we can give to the parents. Okay, these are about the fracture. But today we have discussed regarding 3 conditions. And first one is Talipes equinovarus, otherwise clubfoot, and second one is congenital hip dislocation, and third one is fracture. What is Talipes equinovarus? Other name is clubfoot. That is an abnormal twisting of the feet. That is considering as a clubfoot, otherwise Talipes equinovarus. And Talipes equinovarus we are divided as that is based on the flexion, and flexion of that feet. Okay, we have discussed Talipes valgus, Talipes varus, and a Talipes equinovarus, and we have discussed different types of Talipes clubfoots. And after that we have discussed the management. And next we are moved to this congenital hip dislocation. That is what that the femoral head that is displaced, and displaced from the socket, pelvic socket. Okay, that is condition is called as congenital hip dislocation. That is commonly why it is occurring. First thing is we don't know unknown. Another one is the family has that history of congenital hip dislocation. The baby has to get that congenital hip dislocation. We have after that we have discussed that is what are the diagnostic evaluation. We can do physical examination. We can able to identify, and we can able to do that X-rays, and we can able to we can able to identify the congenital hip dislocation. And we have said that. Management we can able to go for traction and plaster cast and splints. Okay, restraints we can able to use for to correct that congenital hip dislocation, and surgical treatment also is present. And next we are discussed regarding fracture. Fracture is a discontinuity of the bone due to any other injury. But normally with different what are the fracture, why it happened? They're due to any other accidental injury, otherwise falls, otherwise blowing, by blowing and hitting while playing. And these are the different reasons we have discussed. After that, we have said that how we can able to identify the fracture through physical examination. We can able to identify. We have to check the injured area, the pain is present, swelling, immobility, loss of sensation, paralysis. We can able to identify in that particular area. And after we have said that what are the clinical manifestation, we can see that it's open or closed injury fracture. We have to see find out first, and when will we see the 3 P's and paresthesia, paralysis, and a pain, swelling. We can able to see in that injured area. And after that, we have said that what are the management and management of fracture and attractions is there, and plaster cast, splint. We can able to apply for to correct the deformity. Okay, but today's class is concluded. I hope everyone understood this topic. Thank you, everyone.